Where is Mustafa is the question. I swear to God, that was still the funniest thing that happened to me in a very long time. For those of you who weren't with us in the last episode, somebody called Mustafa added us on WhatsApp. By the way, boom, add us on the WhatsApp number. And instead of it saying, I wrote Mustafa as his name, it autocorrected to Mustafa, which this is the hill, the mountain that I will die on, is the greatest name if you ever wanted to do porn and you wanted an Arab name. Mustafa is the future of the Arab porn industry. That is the mountain, the hill that I will die on. From Tokyo, we got on Instagram, index. Get off Instagram. Join us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch right now. Pinned comment. Instagram does not support the professional stream. Manouche, I love Bassem Youssef as well. I hope you join us. Hello from Saudi Arabia. Guys, this is so exciting. We have such a huge crowd from all over the world. Elijah Boud, please give your father all of my love. That is very, very kind. I love that. Where are you sitting? In the garage or your room? This is a room. How does this look like a garage? Does this look like a garage? There's wood. There's wood here. There's no garage. And let me show you guys right here. If you take a look at the chat, I can disable it for a second to block the light that's coming in from outside. I put these up. This is something very nice. I just want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Ronnie Shatah. I was on his podcast and he gifted this to me. Let me show you what it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. This is in Air Liban. I shouldn't have stressed the air. This is old, man. This is from, what year was this? Like, this is before, do you know, how old is this? It says Jerusalem, and it says Damas right here, Gulf Persique. So this is Middle East Airlines when it was called Air Liban, which I'm glad for reasons that Arabs will understand that it's been changed. So to block some of the light, I am now using this, and I think it fits perfectly right here with the woman, the Lebanese traditional village woman carrying what I believe are tomatoes on her head. Who knows what it could be? Could be, I mean, there's a mountain, so I'm guessing it's not Tutia or something like that, because, you know, that wouldn't make much sense. Okay, welcome to the show, everybody. Big fan from Germany. Thank you, Raphael. I appreciate it. Today's cup on the show, and when I drink, I will be cheering to you guys. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. The Ninja Turtles are joining us today with all their infinite power. And in about 15, 20 minutes, we will be bringing our guest, Bassem Youssef, on the show. We are now at 425 viewers, and I think it is time to start the show. So buckle in. The very funny podcast with Nemr, Quarantined Edition, is about to begin. We should put some music. Shouldn't we put some music on the thing? Because we're about to start. I think so. Woo! Hope you guys are ready. We got a good episode today. It's going to be a good time, my man. My woman. My gender fluid, everything in between. This show doesn't discriminate. We're here for everybody. We're here to have a good time on the very funny podcast with Nemr, giving you those smooth vibes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, my people. I am excited. Thank you to everybody who is joining us. Today, we are going to have a special guest, Bassem Youssef. For those of you who don't know, and I find it very hard to believe that there could be people who don't know, but for those of you who possibly are unfamiliar with Bassem Youssef's work, I mean, the guy has 3.5 million followers on Instagram. He's enormous. So a lot of people know him, but just for the few that may be a bit confused, this guy is as comedians, we have very interesting lives. And when it comes to an interesting life, Bassem Youssef probably ranks amongst the top 5, if not top 3. This is a guy he's a satirist. More than a stand-up comedian. He's now more a stand-up comic, but he became famous as a satirist. A satirist, think Jon Stewart, sitting behind a desk. Oh, let me bring the chat back. My bad. Sitting behind a desk, and he's sitting there and going and saying stuff like, Jon Stewart, like taking current events, breaking them down in front of a live audience. They bring a guest on, that format. And he was the Egyptian Jon Stewart is the best way to describe him for some Americans that might be joining us today and want a point of reference. He's actually very good friends with Jon Stewart. And he was actually exiled from his home country of Egypt because of the jokes. So he cannot go back to Egypt. And he has family there. He has an incredible story. On top of that, he's a beautiful looking man. He has an incredible page dedicated to making your life better. It's called Plant B, and he's a plant-based person. A lot of you who watch the show know that I am a keto person. So in theory, me and him should be mortal enemies, but I believe any healthy lifestyle is worth promoting. And he is also a heart surgeon. So I want to make a full disclaimer. This man is way more qualified than me to talk on anything. So I'm just going to try to keep my mouth shut when it comes to that for the most part. We're going to be talking to him about his life, his tribulations, his perspective, what he's learned from his very unique experiences. And we are also going to be talking to him about comedy. So I'm very excited to have him. I'm going to bring him out in a bit. Today's topic and what I want to talk about on the podcast today is a very interesting topic to me, and that's about the comfort zone and the importance of being able to stay out of your comfort zone. As a comedian, our specialty is to not be comfortable. We stand in front of a live audience who may or may not know who the hell we are, and then we try to make them laugh. And it's terrifying for a lot of people to imagine as a concept, but it makes you a better human being when you're outside of your comfort zone. It's our specialty. We learn it as a craft. Still sucks, but we improve every time we make ourselves uncomfortable and we try to do better for the crowd. It's the same thing though for life, because when you are comfortable, when you have everything going well, that emotion is almost the antithesis of ambition, because as soon as you can be comfortable, that's when you can kind of relax and you stop bettering yourself. So if you take it that way, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations could be a way to improve. Think about somebody who's a boxer, who's a fighter, somebody who goes to the gym. A lot of you work out. When you go to the gym, you're putting your body in uncomfortable situations and telling your body, get used to what's going on right now and adapt. And today, the entire world is in an uncomfortable situation. None of us are used to staying home this long, quarantined, and it's a shared experience worldwide. And if you notice, it isn't breaking humanity. You've seen movies, there's mass murders in the streets, people are killing it. None of that is happening because you see the human body and the human race will adapt once you put it in an uncomfortable position, because we are survivors, we are fighters, we are warriors. So I think people are now interfacing with a situation they have no control over. The more you get yourself used to being in an uncomfortable situation, the more you're going to be ready to live life comfortably. It's a very weird dichotomy, but it's true. As soon as you get yourself, your body, your spiritual self used to and adapted to being uncomfortable, is the sooner that you're going to be able to be very comfortable in any situation. Think about it this way. You go in for a job interview, right? And as soon as you get there, they start asking you these bizarre questions like, sell me this pen, or whatever those stupid questions are. What would you say is your weakness? What would you say? By the way, there was always a joke, a comic strip, where it cracked me up. This isn't my joke, and I love this. It's a job interview. A guy goes, what would you say is your weakness? And the person goes, thank you, Chaotic Narcotic, for the follow on Twitch. And the guy goes, I think my weakness is that I'm too honest. And the interviewer's like, I don't really see that. I don't think that's a weakness. And then the guy's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. Such a good joke. But when you go into a job interview, you're nervous, right? Your heart's beating right here. You're like, I don't want to mess this up. I want to say the right things. I want this job. I need this job. And it's interesting that if you were comfortable in that situation, you know that it would be a better job interview. And the more job interviews you do, the higher the chance you are of nailing every subsequent job interview. So think about it that way. When you start to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, or situations that make you uncomfortable, you start to become more comfortable as a human being in general. So I think the best thing you can do as a human being is constantly make yourself uncomfortable. And as soon as you start to feel comfortable, get out. So a lot of you who do know me know that I am a stand-up comic of some renown in the Middle East. And I started my career out in the Middle East. I'm very proud of that. I started in Lebanon. I'm Lebanese, and I became famous, and I grew across the Middle East. And thank you, Kareem Ramadan95, for the follow. And I became a pretty big deal there over the span of 15 years of work. It wasn't like an overnight thing. I made it on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. I boycotted all media there, but the TV shows that I did were the biggest and the best. I sold out the largest venues all over the Middle East, and I introduced stand-up comedy single-handedly into the region. It didn't exist before me in 1999, and I developed the industry. By the time 2014 was coming to a close, people knew me. I was pretty much a household name for people who were into stand-up comedy over there in that region, and when I do a show, people were excited. I'm doing a show, 4,000, 5,000 people are showing up. They're booking babysitters in advance. They're doing stuff. They're excited. So when I get on that stage, they're ready for me. It's no longer like when I was starting out, like they would come maybe by accident or their friends would drag them to a show and I'd have to really impress them to make them a fan. These were people that had an invested interest in having a good time. So in fact, they're going to laugh easier at your jokes than most people because they want to have a good time. That's what they're there for. Also, they're familiar with my comedy. By that time, I had done, I think, 6 comedy specials, 6 different shows. So people knew my jokes. They knew what I was about. They could complete my sentences. Sometimes I wouldn't even have to do a full punchline. I could just make a look and people would know what I'm referring to and get a huge laugh. And that was the word. And I remember thinking to myself, I finished a comedy show called Uninterrupted Funny Observations, UFO. And I was like, man, I need to keep getting better. And I feel like if I stay in this environment, I'm going to become not as good. I need to get better. I need to get sharper. So that's when I decided to come over to the US. I felt it was time. I had achieved everything there was to achieve in the Middle East. And I felt like it was time now to come to America, where stand-up comedy resides, to find out, am I a funny Arab dude or am I a funny comedian? And then to become the greatest in the United States, in Europe, in Australia, link them together. My ambition is way beyond that. I have to keep growing. When I first came here to America, nobody knew who the fuck I was. Okay? I'm a guy who was selling out 5,000, 6,000 venue seaters across the Middle East. And then I come here to America and I walk into a comedy club and I'm begging to get a spot on a Monday as an opening comic. I'm walking up into clubs unannounced in front of crowds that have no idea who I am, not familiar with my material, nothing. And it made me such a much better comedian. And now I'm getting well known in America, and I'm super proud of what I've done. And I have a Showtime special, and I did all of that by reworking myself from the ground up. I'm going to Australia for the first time in September, and I'm very excited about that. God willing, as long as everything stays on track with the world, right? And then Europe, I broke into Paris and London and Berlin and Prague and Amsterdam in the past couple of years, constantly putting myself in uncomfortable situations so that I could become a better comic. I felt if I could make the jokes hit with everyone from all over the world in different parts, then they're going to be better crafted jokes. The reason that I'm telling you this story and the reason that I think you should be uncomfortable is our guest today, who I'm about to call right now, Bassem Youssef, is one of the few comics in the world that I share this story with. Myself, Veer Das, Bassem Youssef, and Gad Malay are the only comics that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a couple more. There's a Brazilian comic. There are a couple more, but we're very few. You can count them on 2 hands. The number of comics that left their home countries, left their fan base, and are trying to expand abroad. The difference with Bassem Youssef is he was forced away. And he has transitioned not only from Egypt to America, but he's transitioned from Egypt from a satirist to a stand-up comic. And he's a massive, massive big deal, and he has a lot of fame. But the beautiful thing about stand-up comedy and the humbling aspect of stand-up comedy, and why I consider it to be one of the greatest live performance art forms, is it doesn't matter if you're Jack Nicholson. You get up in front of that audience, you got 3 minutes based off of your fame of excitement. If you're not funny, people don't laugh. It's that simple. And that's a beautiful thing about stand-up comedy. It's a very noble and honest art form, right? If I go and I do a show and people don't laugh. They don't leave the show and be like, the show wasn't funny, but he was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine once, so it was worth the money. People are just like, man, Nemr sucks. And this is what's unique about stand-up. Music, you can play one song, it becomes a hit, and your whole career, people will pay money to go see you perform that same song so they can sing along with you. But in comedy, when people see you online or you have a hit bit and it goes viral, people are like, I love this comic. I want to go pay money, see this comic do other material. What basically people are into is they look at the comic and they say, I like the way this comic thinks. I want to see their thought process, their philosophy, their perspective applied to other things. Stand-up comedian Bill Hicks said it best when, and may he rest in peace, I think it was in an interview in the early 90s. He said, religious figures and politicians, they beg people to see them for free. Comedians are the only people that people pay money. And here's the very important distinction. He said they don't pay money to the comic to watch them. They give the comedian money and say, make me listen. The distinction between make me listen and I'm here to see you is the distinction between humility and egotistical approach. You are in service of the crowd when you have to make them listen, and the crowd is in service of you if they're there to see you. Musicians, the crowd is in service of you. Comedians, we are in service of the people. We have to give them a reason to be there, and they are remunerating us. They are giving us money in kind to support our ability to do that. So when it comes to comedians like Bassem Youssef, he means so much to so many people because of what he's been through. And having him on today is a great, great honor. So without further ado, I think it's time that we call our esteemed guest. And I'm very excited for this. Last time we had Brian Callen. Thanks again to him for an incredible interview. And I forgot to take the number off. So I'm going to do that right now before I jump on Skype and we call Bassem. So let me just do that right now. And Bassem Youssef, video calling him right now. Hello, Bassem.
How you doing, man?
I am so great, man. It is so good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How's our audience? How are they? Are they doing well?
The audience is doing amazing. The comments have been flowing in like crazy. This is one of our highest viewed episodes. People are so excited. For the first time, I have a question that was sent to me in advance.
Oh my God.
On WhatsApp, which I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you later on. I've never, you're an Arab. I'm an Arab. Things coming in advance, and this came from an Arab is a huge accomplishment.
Because we're always late for everything. Except, of course, when we're doing these time bombs. Now we're very punctual.
Yeah, this is very... Very, very true. Ladies and gentlemen, our very good guest today, Bassem Youssef, is joining us. I don't know, Bassem, if you were watching the stream earlier. I did give an introduction to you earlier in the show, and I just talked about the importance of having you today with us because you are a comedian that has a perspective that is so unique because of what you've been through, what you've been through. And I'm going to try to cover so much today, but I do want to apologize in advance. I think it's impossible with a guest like Bassem Youssef to actually be able to cover all we could talk about potentially in one episode. I think it would be difficult to cover it in a lifetime.
I'm just a multi-faceted gem that's in the mud waiting to be explored and discovered.
Yeah. Waiting to be discovered, who's been on The Tonight Show, on Stephen Colbert with 3.5 million followers
and still didn't get a freaking special. What the fuck, man?
Isn't it crazy? It's crazy. Man, we're going to talk about all of that today. First of all, Bassem, I want to tell people something that's very interesting about you. You are a heart surgeon.
Yeah.
And so I have a question, and I'm gonna say the question, and I'm gonna rephrase it, and I would love to get your answer on this. How do you go from being a heart surgeon to a satirist? To rephrase, how do you go from making your parents so proud to disappointing them so incredibly in one career?
Well, they when they saw the money flowing, they weren't disappointed anymore. And that is what changes everything. So, here's the thing. I mean, I have never, ever planned for it. And I think what happened was there was a catalyst, which is the Arab Spring, a revolution.
Yeah.
and our world was never the same anymore.
Yeah,
basically, there was a revolution, people in the streets, and I was just doing my job as a doctor, trying to fix people's injuries, trying to make a difference, basically. But the thing is, it's the disparity of what you saw on the streets, and then when you came back and you watched television. And our state-run media is basically, and I say this on my shows all the time, it is like, imagine a show written by Alex Jones, hosted by Sean Hannity, broadcasted on a North Korean television, and shared on your timeline by a Russian bot. That was the definition of our...
So basically, Fox News is regular programming.
No, that is Fox News on steroids.
On steroids. That's true, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Jokes aside.
It's Fox News on steroids, ecstasy, and cocaine altogether.
That
was our state-run media.
Yeah.
I mean, we discovered fake news way before you guys started talking about it.
The Middle East is the master of fake news.
It's kind of, even back in ancient times, it's kind of like pharaohs will come and basically erase the mention of every king before him as like, I did this, Obama was bad, I was good, and that was, of course, that was the time of the pharaohs. That is we were kind of like ahead of it. So basically, what I did is just like organically, I just did the show on YouTube, and at that time, I thought I was like already going to Cleveland. I was already accepted to actually start a career in Cleveland.
Wow!
As a pediatric heart surgeon, and I thought, all right, I'm just gonna put the videos online, and then maybe in a year or so, when I'm in America, a producer will discover the show, and then he will call me. It's like, hey, why when you come back, why don't you try something on television? But in 3 weeks, boom, millions of views.
So it started out with you posting your own clips online.
Yes, and then in 7 weeks, I was signing my first TV deal. It's crazy. Crazy.
And you were on it was the biggest show, and this is important for our viewers to know, not only in Egypt. This was the biggest show in the entire region.
Yeah.
Bassem Youssef cannot walk anywhere in the Middle East without being stopped. He is a massive, massive name. Lebanon, we were all tuning in. Everybody everywhere was tuning in for every episode of yours. How was that? How did you what always shocked me is you were so comfortable with so many eyeballs. And was it because you felt as a heart surgeon that you went from physically repairing hearts to working on the heart of the spiritual heart of the region? Did you feel like that higher calling brought out the best in you? Because you looked, that's why whenever I watch, I'm like, where did this guy come from? Like that is not, to sit in front of cameras, to own a show like that is practically impossible for anyone. But you came out of nowhere and did it. And you're a heart surgeon. Once again, I keep repeating that you're not
I know,
a performer.
but it's just like you put it so poetically. You know when you do something like by pure luck, it's like, oh my God, the way that you have, just like you stick that landing and you look amazing doing it. It's like, I have no idea. As a matter of fact, the whole thing about fame and the whole thing about like being exposed, a lot of people thought that like I was arrogant. But the thing is, I could not deal with fame the way that famous people deal with. For me, fame was very toxic, and this was the only way that I kept grounded when with that much exposure. So I never actually lived the celebrity life, and this is something that a lot of people don't know. Before the show, I had a 2009 Nissan car. That was my car, a 2009, right? And I left Egypt 2014. Right?
Okay.
And I never changed my car. And that is like one thing to tell you that like my life, my personal life, I thought I resisted to have any kind of change. I didn't live the celebrity life. I didn't go Dan Bilzerian on their asses. It just like, I mean, I wish, but I didn't. But the thing is, there was something about me telling me every single day of my life that this has an expiration date, and this is very abnormal, and the kind of fame and exposure is too much, and this will end somehow, so I better stay grounded so not to be like shattered and destroyed when that happens. And when everything was taken away from me in a blink of an eye, I mean, I was the same person because I never changed.
That's true.
So the thing,
but you still have a lot of fame, and you still haven't changed. You're one of the most humble people I've spoken to. And
because I think we as people, I mean, you, me, people who have known, I think it's a blessing, and it's also very fragile, because fame and love, and as you know, especially insane love, can turn into hate over time.
Hate and love are the same emotion. It's just
exactly. And many people who hate me now used to love me, and it's because I didn't like meet their expectations, whatever these expectations are. So I was always. I mean, if social media was not important for me to run my business, to run
you wouldn't be on it.
I would have been off.
Me too.
All social media platforms.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Oh my God, you have like how many million viewers? That must be amazing." So that sucks. That sucks. I in Egypt,
it's not amazing. It's necessary.
Yes, and in Egypt, I had 40 million people watching every episode. 40 million people in Egypt alone.
In Egypt alone, there were millions across the region.
And people said, like, "Oh my God, that would have made amazing." I said, "No, that sucks. You know what does it mean to have 40 million people having an opinion about you?"
Yeah.
It's crazy. When people write a post on Facebook and they have 10 people commenting, their days are different. Imagine 40 million people. 40 million people having an opinion about what you say, how you say it, how funny it is, how not funny it is, like how political or correct or incorrect it is. It is crazy, the amount of pressure that you have. And now, and I don't want to like kind of like shade some darkness, like put some shades on this.
No, not at all. No, go as dark as you want.
But like I understood why celebrities take away their own lives. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It is crazy.
From my experience, what I've noticed also in to be able to relate to people, you kind of have to have gone through something, right? Like if you listen to a song and it hits you, they're usually singing about something that's very, relatable. So
yeah, like Taylor Swift, like every single ex, she has like a song for everybody. Yes,
like that song. Now You're Just Somebody That I Used to Know was a huge hit because everybody's been in a relationship and they connected. So your ability to stay humble as a comic is almost a survival necessity because you need to stay relatable. So it's good it comes natural to you. But what's interesting to me in all of this is that you're saying that when you had all of these eyeballs on you, instead of taking like basking in the like, this is it, I'm comfortable, like everybody knows me, I can say one thing and change things. You understood that the pressure of that moment changed your entire life dynamic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And have you ever been comfortable since?
No, never. I mean, a lot of people saw me performing. I mean, in the show, you saw me like performing and being loud and being energetic. Once the light is out, I go back to a very depressed place because I don't know if this show is good enough, and if it is good enough,
the anxiety.
How can I kind of top it the next week? It was, and I said this before. The day that I received the news that my show was cancelled, I was extremely sad, but extremely relieved.
Wow.
I felt that I was liberated.
Wow.
And actually, this is something that I struggle with right now because this was not just a comedy show. It's a very politically loaded show. Everybody has an opinion about it. Yeah. It's not now when I go into a comedy club and I perform. People come in, have a couple of beers, halal beers, of course, and fries and whatever, and then they say, and everybody's happy,
Yeah.
But the thing is, because it was such a politically disturbed and confusing, and there was a lot of turmoil, it was very loaded with things that should not be loaded on a satirist or a political commentator. A political satirist. And now when I am trying kind of like to break free from that. I've trying to reinvent myself here in America, trying to do shows in English, trying to do stand-up, and it still haunts me. It still haunts me. Can you imagine? It still haunts me.
It's your brand.
It's people come to me after the show. Yeah, we loved it, but like,
why didn't you do more politics?
Can you please talk in Arabic and tell us about what happened in Egypt last night? That's not my thing.
Yeah.
And I discovered that it's like 99% of the questions that come to me. Why don't you continue doing the show? Why don't you go back to the show? Why don't you start it again on YouTube? And I discovered that I was supposed to be someone who is locked, who is trapped into the success of that show. But I discovered after 6 years that I'm not the one who's trapped. They are the one who's still trapped. They are still one who are living in 2013. They're still the one who still think that a tweet can change things in like 2012. Things are different. and the rules of the game are different, and still people have this nostalgia, this longing to a very short part of history where people felt that there are hope and they could be free, and it was a beautiful feeling. But now we are addicted to it like cocaine. Mm-hmm. We are addicted to it like a bad habit, mm-hmm. and we still want to recreate the moment in a time and a place that you cannot recreate this moment, because you need to move forward and try to find other ways. But people just like, and now and this is where satire is harmful. You know why?
Why?
Because when all that you look up for, or all you aspire is someone to come up and just make fun about the people that you hate, you became complacent in the status quo. Because basically you see someone making fun of like the president that you hate or the leadership that you despise, and then you sit there on your ass on the couch. It's like, ha ha ha, ha, that is so funny, and then you don't change anything
because
you become lazy.
You feel like lazy. You feel like you've done something just by partaking in the exercise.
But you haven't. You just cracked some jokes, but the guys are still in power, and a kind of like a different version of it. It's happening in the United States. Mm-hmm. In a way that like people now are just like laughing at Trump, but when it comes to election times, people are staying home and they're not voting.
That's true.
So basically, because they felt, I shared this amazing episode by Trevor Noah. I just sent this clip by Colbert, and that should take care of Trump. And the same thing is happening in Egypt. It's like, yeah. Why don't you go and make fun of Sisi, make fun of the president, make fun of the thing? And it's like, all right, what will it change? You're just gonna sit on your ass doing nothing.
This, I wanted to ask the question from our viewer later on, but because of what you just said right now, it's actually very, I'm going to ask you right now, because this is the natural thing. His question was, and this comes from Ahmad. I don't have his full name open in front of me, so I'm going to apologize. Let me just make sure that I give him credit, because I'm sure it will mean a lot to him. If I can find him right now. Can I find it? Yep, Ahmad Faris. And Ahmad Faris asks, which, in your opinion, is more important? A mainstream that delivers the facts and encourages people to put its trust in the government in order not to cause conflict in the nation, or a media that encourages people to make a change, however their future and the future of their country would be uncertain if they tried heading down that road? So basically, like, would you, in your experience as a media person, with everything you've seen revolutionary, do you think that it's important to have a media that is kind of in touch with stability and pro-government, but factual? If that's, I don't even know if that's possible.
So there's a lot of misconception in that question, because here they put stability, and there's a very confused, twisted definition of stability, because stability is like just like shut the fuck up and let the government do its job. The media has always been...
That's complacency. That's not stability.
Yeah. The media... There's a reason why media is called the fourth authority. Because it should be some sort of a guardian, should be like a watchdog on the government. Because the thing is, if the government is strong, they wouldn't care about the media tearing into it.
They wouldn't care about a guy telling jokes.
Because I understand where Ahmed is coming from. Because this is kind of like the narrative that's been repeated time and time and time again in our Arab world. Al-istiqrar, unhadibad, stability, and we don't need to ruffle some feathers. No, we need to ruffle some feathers.
Yes, we do.
Because you need to hold those people in the government accountable. In Europe, in America, there are much better leaders than in the Middle East, and they are being torn apart every single day.
Yeah.
And it's not out of hate, and it's not like out of being mean. It's out of pushing them always into this direction of making better. Because this is the problem of our perception as Arabs to our leaders. We look to our leaders. We look our know-it-all. But in Europe and in America, they are public servants.
They are representatives.
You have paid for their position by your votes, and you continue to pay by your tax money.
Yeah.
So he should work for you.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
No, we have
the leader, the father, the inspirational, the مش عارف ايه, and everybody should. So, and the thing is, like, what does he mean by factual? If a factual media should actually allow all kinds of point of view, including people attacking the government. And if the government is strong, there should be strong enough
to take it,
to defend itself. And if the government is strong, they wouldn't care about someone making fun of them.
But they're not strong.
In America, before Trump, of course, you had like the correspondent dinners, White House correspondent dinners, where the White House hires a comedian to come and tear the president apart.
Yeah.
And we didn't see the American empire fall because of that.
No.
It started to fall when Trump stopped doing it.
So, do you like Trump? I'm kidding. I
tell you what I think about Trump. Trump,
yeah, let's hear it.
A lot of people might think that he is horrible, he's racist, he's bigoted, he's terrible, he's incompetent. Mm-hmm. He reminds me of home.
He does. He's the most Arab. He's the most Arab. What I drew a distinction, which was very funny in Lebanon, is so he's orange, and he has his son-in-law in key positions. There's nepotism, and he came on the back of a lot of misunderstanding and bigotry and racism. And we have the exact same president in Lebanon, Orange Party, son-in-law in power, the same deal, and they came at the same time.
I was going to ask about the orange. How could you?
They're the Orange Party. They're the Orange Party. It's hilarious. In Lebanon, for those watching who might not know, are political groups, and they're all corrupt. I don't want to be singling out just one. It's not true. If you guys think I'm attacking one, that's not the case at all. The orange, we wear political parties wear colors like gangs. Yeah. So you have like the blue, like here you have the Crips and the Bloods in Los Angeles and the different gangs in America. In the Middle East, the gangs are the political groups and the people who follow them. They're thugs.
I appeared in a Lebanese show. I don't know if you've seen it. Called Minna Jar.
Yes, of course. So
the second one was the whole thing about the guy doing the blackface and everything. That was terrible. But the first one was about like political signs. The political banners. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that episode, no.
Oh, no, you have to see that.
Okay.
So like me as an Egyptian coming into Beirut International Airport, I'm going to the streets and I'm seeing all of these banners. And they are kind of like, and each of them kind of like styled towards a certain leader. Mm-hmm. And I asked the driver, are you guys in the middle of election season?
No.
I said, no, it's always there.
Yeah.
And I said like, you're basically commercializing election. Yep. So basically, Nabih Berri and Hassan Nasrallah and all of these people, it's like, have the Samsung phone. No, have an iPhone. And it's kind of like,
that would be so funny if they started doing product endorsements. And once again, for everybody listening, what Bassem Youssef is referring to, we have an insane amount of billboards in our country, and politicians all over the country have billboards of themselves, and then other people will actually donate a billboard. Like a whole building, and it'll have the picture of their political leader, and it'll say donated by this dude, so that they can carry political favors later on.
You have to watch this clip because I kind of analyze. It's kind of like because I looked at two things: the billboards and the slogans, and how it is kind of like one of them is like وقت الخطر قوات, and so is that the army? I said, no, that's the political. And then I see الكتائب. So is that the army? No, that's another part. And I'm kind of like I'm having kind of like describing the conversation between me and the taxi drivers, how and it's kind of like and it's kind of like when it was like the time when Al Hariri went to Salamat Albak because he had something with his heart, and I started actually to give ideas about what will be the next thing about someone with indigestion, and what will be the billboard if you write it for this, and it's kind of how to do it in a kind of a patriotic kind of wording. You have to watch this clip, man.
I am gonna check this clip out. I'm laughing so hard that you even know our politicians. I mean, as you should, because this was your job, literally, was a political satirist. Yeah. But transitioning from that, what's very interesting, and somebody asked me earlier to ask you this, do you still practice cardiology?
No.
Okay. Do you miss it? Does anybody, do any of your past patients, just like people come, they say, why don't you do the show again? Do any past patients come and go, why don't you do heart surgery again?
Well, a past patient, do you mean like a dead patient?
No, I'm hoping they're not.
Hunting me in my dreams?
No, I mean as a patient from your past, not a patient who passed. God damn it.
I always tell people like, when I took the decision, to leave medicine and go into media, and because of that decision, many more people are alive today.
When did you know that you weren't? When did you know you weren't a cardiologist and you were a comedian? Because your personality. I mean, I can only imagine.
Cardiac surgeon, bitch.
Cardiac surgeon. Sorry.
Yes.
I honestly, in my ignorance, I thought a cardiologist was a cardiac surgeon. Can you be a cardiologist and not do surgery?
Yes, actually, cardiologists don't do surgery.
What?
Yes, there's okay. Very cardiologist is the guy who diagnoses you and he puts the stent inside of you.
Okay.
The cardiac surgeon basically he gets the electrical and crack your patient.
So as a cardiac surgeon, do you guys make fun of cardiologists? Like they're like.
No, they're basically making fun of us because they kicked our ass with all of their interventional things and basically took 90% of our jobs, motherfucker.
Oh my god, that is too funny.
No, so to answer your question, no, I don't miss it.
Okay, you don't miss it.
I don't miss the long hours. I don't miss the horrible shifts. I don't miss the long nights. No, I don't.
Now, this is interesting and something that fascinates me about you. For everybody watching, I think it's very clear that you look incredible. I don't know if it's how much you would attribute to natural genes or how much you would attribute to your plant-based way of life.
My genes suck, man. I think I have made a huge change 7 years ago and 6.5 years ago, and basically I turned into plant-based diet. And just to answer your question, the transformation, I now look much better than I looked 7 years ago. It changed my life forever, and just like changing the way I eat, the way I treat my body every day, which is something you are pretty much like into it. And
I am into it, but we had a long conversation yesterday, to which I want to thank you again. Something you guys really need to know: Bassem, he cares. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I told him, like, I'm talking to him. If you see pictures of me from 10 years ago and you see pictures of me today, I look younger. I look so healthy. I look great. For me, that's on a journey of keto. Yes. And I was like, hey, you're on plant-based. I'm doing keto. And then Bassem was like, you're going to die. It's the worst thing you can do. And my face was like, went from excitement to just dread. I was like, wait, no, but it's clean keto. There's no such thing as clean keto. Your blood vessels are thickening. You're going to get cancer. You're going to die. There's no hope. And I'm like, but I eat eggs and cheese. Cheese is the worst thing you can. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? So
first of all, overall, Nemr is actually portraying this in a very wrong way. No. So yes,
I'm playing it up for comedic effect.
So yes, keto is gonna fucking kill you. That's one thing.
Yes.
No, but second, I respect anybody, and I don't want to just create animosities between all of the diet warriors.
Yeah, no, you're not like that. You're not like that.
No. I think people going into keto, I have a big problem with medical background and the scientific background. However, I respect them because they are actually committing to a regimen and they are committing to something that is that needs a lot of dedication. And I think in a world where the options are endless with all the kinds of food, and many of them are very bad food and they are delicious foods, you making the commitment to make a change, whether that is plant-based diet or keto or even the freaking Atkins diet, it's still, although I have like very negative opinions about that, but still it's dedication.
Yeah,
it's still dedication.
Discipline. There's a discipline.
And again, we are basically we react to what we hear in the media and what we think it works and what works, and when we do it, hey, it works.
Yeah.
And I think when I don't want to have these discussions like, oh, keto is bad. Plant-based like sucks. I think there's always a middle ground of like, how can we make this better?
Yeah.
Because and I can actually share with you what I know from some medical doctors. Why is keto?
No, I mean you're clearly more qualified. So when I was talking to you on the phone yesterday, it was interesting. I was asking you because I was like, I mean, you're a cardiac surgeon, so you understand science. I'm a clown, and. No. And you have an understanding of this. What I love about, and before we continue with the questions, I do want to share the screen here for a second to show everybody. When I say Bassem Youssef cares. Okay, let me just turn on screen sharing right here. This is Bassem Youssef, 3.5 million followers, his Instagram, which you're all seeing. Bassem, I'm sorry you can't see the screen, but I'm just going to orally take everyone through what they're seeing on screen. So here you see Bassem Youssef, 3.5 million followers. He doesn't need to do this. He started a page called plantb.tv, and I implore everybody to follow it. 76,400 followers. I don't know why I'm not following. And I just realized I just did that. So go ahead and follow. And he's building this thing and he has these transformations of people that he's helping coach. He has free 21-day plans. And he's just doing this because he really cares. And I think that's something that's in your entire career. You cared when you did your show. You cared as a cardiac surgeon. You care as this. There's no reason for you to put any energy into this. This is an amazing page. There's incredible material out here. If any of you are interested in following the plant-based diet, or people like me who are interested in understanding something that is clearly so healthy, and I will definitely, I'm pretty much very excited to give this diet a shot. I really want to. I want to feel the effects. I'm sure there's incredible effects. I just haven't had the. I'm trying to get the groceries.
But you see, Nemr, look at you, for example. You have actually went into the keto diet, right?
Yeah.
And you felt the change,
yes.
Right? And you felt how you improved, like your stamina, your health, your fitness, your body. And I'm sure that you are actually trying also to spread the knowledge because you felt good about it. I think this is something. I mean, we always say that humans are selfish. Part of that is true.
Yeah, but it's not.
We have this innate desire to spread knowledge and spread personal experience because we want people to feel good as we did.
For example, I want you to feel what I'm feeling. You got to feel this. It's amazing.
You watch a great movie, guys. You have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
You watch it's like, oh, have you seen Veep? Have you seen Westworld? Have you seen Breaking Bad? You have to watch it. It's the best show ever.
You guys have to watch Breaking Bad, by the way. Yes, please go.
Of course. and you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
There's no obligation for you to do it. But when it's something that touches you personally, you are more motivated to actually share that, right?
Yeah,
because you want people to feel that, right? Because kind of like, oh, I've seen the light.
Yeah, you have, and you show it. And I understand there can be a huge debate over keto because there's fat and there's so many things. I doubt. I've also made jokes. You've made jokes. We all make jokes about vegans, vegetarians, keto. We make jokes about anybody who's militant. And as you called them on the phone yesterday, you told, what was the word you used them? Extremist vegan or militant?
Militant vegans.
Militant vegans. But all joking aside, it's difficult to look at a diet like the plant-based diet and point anything negative out of it. A lot of people say you can't be on the plant-based diet and be healthy. Clearly, that's not true. There is countless examples of people who are very healthy. People say you have low energy levels.
But at the same time, there is a bad way to do vegan.
There's a bad way to do anything.
So there's bad keto. There's bad vegans. There's bad vegans. So there's a lot of people who conflate. A lot of people who do vegans for moral issues, for the animals, which I totally respect.
100%. Joaquin Phoenix is one of them.
They take out the animal products, which is great, but many of them still keep the processed products, even if they're vegans, and they're not good. There's nothing good about refined sugar; it's still vegan. There's nothing good about soda; it's still vegan.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong about all of these processed stuff that basically that are not healthy, but they're still vegan. But so that's why I tell you can still be vegan and unhealthy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I tell people it's not just like vegan is just half of the word. It is a whole food diet that actually can help you become better.
So if for the people watching right now who have heard about this, maybe are on the fence about this or are curious, what would be if you tell somebody I highly recommend the plant-based diet because, what would the because be?
I would say it will reduce the inflammation of your body. It will increase your immunity. It will increase your energy, and it will protect you from future chronic diseases that it's been plagued into our societies, like diabetes, obesity, hypertension, high cholesterol, autoimmune disease, and even would reverse some of these diseases. And this is actually how I got into plant-based diet. I had a friend of mine who was a MS. And then MS, multiple sclerosis, is the boogeyman of medicine.
Multiple sclerosis is just a terrible. They don't know why it happens. They don't know how to cure it. It's just so. Tell this story about how you got into it, because this fascinated me, and I want to thank everybody, by the way, on Twitch who's following and subscribing. But of course, we have our guests now, so I'm not shouting you out individually. Please tell us this story.
So I had a friend of mine who used to be with me in school, high school together, and I knew that he had MS, and I was horrified. And then. But he said, no, that was MS 8 years ago. Now he kind of like got it under control. It's like, no, nobody gets MS got under control. And I went to him and he said, yeah, it's true. 2006, I was diagnosed by MS. I went to Mayo Clinic. They told me 5 years' time, you're going to be on a wheelchair. 10 years' time, you're going to be totally incapacitated. Now, 14 years later, he's back to playing water polo. Then the guy...
Playing water polo, one of the most intense... Yeah. So this guy's on a plant-based diet, playing one of the most, arguably the most intense sport ever.
As a young person, he was actually in the national team, the Egypt national team, and he was amazing. And of course, that MS kind of like broke him, like got him down.
Definitely.
And then he came back. And the thing is, he's telling me, and when we sat together, and he explained to me, and he gave me resources, and that's the one thing that I want to share with people. Is like always, there's a lot of documentaries, a lot of books, a lot of resources out there. Before committing to a plant-based diet, just read about it. Of course. Just watch the and there's like easy documentaries out there, like The Game Changers on Netflix. They're like Forks Over Knives. These are like two starters.
Is that the Arnold Schwarzenegger backed one, The Game Changers? Was that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I heard that's. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I heard it's outstanding.
Freaking amazing. And the original document is 2008. It's not highly produced as The Game Changer, but that was 2007, 2008, and that started the movement. So when you do that, and you can read it and you can see what's there, you will be motivated to make the change. And I made the change.
And I want to interrupt you because somebody asked something interesting, and I want you to address this as well, because I know it would come out. How will you address, this is from Ahmad Dennis Kojok, how will you address the most important issue of all, the pleasure of food? You're actually removing one of the most important things we have in our current lives, meat and chicken and fish. So please think about that.
It's a very valid question.
It is.
It's a very valid. So I will just finish my friend's story. So he did it. He kind of like introduced me to it, and I read about it, and I got sold to the idea, committed to it, and I felt better. Now, to answer the question of your friend, this is very important.
So to recap, your friend who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis went on a plant-based diet, doesn't suffer from multiple sclerosis symptoms, got it under control, told you about it, you read about it, you gave it a shot, transformed your life, and you've stuck with it ever since. I remember you told me you were sitting down having a burger while he was telling you that story, and it was...
that was the last burger.
The last burger, September, was it 15, 2013?
September 2013.
September 15, 2013. Okay, so to answer that guy's question...
Yes, it's a very valid point. Life is full of amazing pleasure. I mean, who doesn't like to eat chocolate every day, or pizza, or Burger King every single freaking meal? But you know, and I know that these pleasures have a very negative impact. And it's the whole thing. I mean, a lot of people enjoy smoking. A lot of people enjoy sniffing cocaine, right? But we know that there is a price to pay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that
is it worth the trade-off?
Yes. It's hard, but I mean, why do people wake up every day and have to torture themselves into running for an hour? I mean, there's no pleasure in that.
No.
But your body feels the difference, and they want to continue with it. I mean, we would love to just sit on the couch watching television and just stuff our face with delicious food every day. But it is, and by the way, there is a culture thing that is related to this question.
Yeah.
Very important.
Okay.
And I find that actually in the Arab world and like in our part of the world. They will say, "Ya haram alik, sex is haram, alcohol is haram, drugs is haram, everything is haram. The only thing that we do in our life is food." So and they have a point. That's the only
and you're taking it away.
It is the only permissible. It's the only permissible pleasure.
Yeah.
And you're taking it. So it actually tells a lot about our culture. It's like, how is everything else is haram and not permissible, but food is the only thing. So of course you're putting all of your instincts and your pleasure in this thing, in this bechamel, in this.
So what you're saying is cut the food, just have sex, drink alcohol, do drugs. Is basically, no, I'm kidding.
It's a healthy lifestyle.
Adopt a plant-based, narcotics-full lifestyle.
Yes.
Bassem. One thing, though, that also, and I asked you this, you said, like, give that recipe you told me of that salad and you're like, it's the most delicious. Something people have to understand is meat, fish, everything is delicious. I barbecue almost daily. I eat cheese. I'm on a keto diet. I love meat, fish, and all of that stuff. But to think that you can't have absolutely delicious other things too is very bizarre. In fact, it's with the amount of spices you can add and different flavorings. Give that recipe you told me.
And before that, I want to tell you that people don't understand that, like, a lot of people, including me, when I was eating meat and cheese and everything, I never found vegetables delicious.
Really?
It was like, the salad we put there and we keep it to the end.
It's a formality. Yeah, you have to. You just have to.
But you know what happens when you actually switch your food?
You crave it.
Your taste buds change.
They do.
And when your taste buds changes,
they do.
Suddenly, the greens, they taste sweeter. Seriously, I mean, like you enjoy it. You enjoy
That's
it.
True.
I seriously, I like now. I eat a banana. That's so sweet. And if you give me like a piece of chocolate, it will shock me because that's too sweet. That wouldn't even faze me in the past. But now, like I used to have, like many Egyptians, 4 spoons of sugar in my cup of tea.
Oh my goodness, the sweetest tea in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. I know
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you put like half a spoon, I wouldn't drink.
You can't have
it.
It's all acquired. It's acquired taste. I'm from the keto diet. What I can tell you is that I loved lasagna, pizza, all of this stuff. I would do a cheat day, and I'd be so excited, and I'd go crazy. Ice cream, pizza, the whole thing on my cheat day. I would feel horrible, absolutely horrible. That I don't do cheat days anymore. People are like, "Don't you miss bread?" I'm like, it just the feeling, the bloatedness, I just can't take it anymore. And it's true. You adapt, your taste buds adapt, and you start to become more sensitive to flavor once you start neutralizing your palate from processed craziness.
Yes, and about the recipe, I have this bowl that I do daily. And when I talk about bowl, I'm talking about bowl.
Yeah.
Angar la mu'akhadha, like a bowl, all right? And what I do, I have like a very large base of greens, whether that is arugula or spinach or both. And this is all, by the way, like almost raw, yani. Okay. And then from all of that bed of greens, I start adding stuff. So I add the beans, I add avocado, I add nutritional yeast, beautiful flavor. I add maybe flaxseed, a little bit of berries, nuts, and then I would kind of like saute, kind of like on the saucepan, kind of like have a tofu or tempeh, depending on how much protein you want to take. If you're working out, I put a lot because I work out a lot. And then I do that, and I do it in the saucepan as I'm cutting there, and I'm putting everything, the cucumbers and everything. And then I put whatever in the saucepan of the tofu and tempeh or seitan in there. And this bowl, I can eat all day.
It sounds freaking delicious, honestly.
And it's so filling. And you have this, and then you have the beans,
no
and then you have the oatmeal, and you discover something. You do not have what I call the food coma anymore.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't. You don't get those glycogen spikes. Those that's the best.
Or the very high protein, high fat kind of, like, I don't know. It dumps me down.
If you're not used to the when you first start doing keto and it's like high protein, high fat, you're sleeping. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because your body still is functioning on glycogen as an energy source and not on fat. So you're just like for the first week, I was walking. I'm like, how is this diet going to make me lose weight?
Exactly.
But then, of course, your body transfers.
You don't have the transfer. You kind of like, you feel lighter all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, obviously, because you're taking out the fat, you're taking out the carbs, the heavy carbs, and you're replacing them with much more. Bassem, I want to end on this question. First of all, people are asking.
Ending. Oh my God! I mean, we can go on for another.
We could go. I want to bring you. I want to ask. Can I bring you back on the show in the future?
100%.
Okay,
dude.
Because there's so much more we can talk about.
This is an announcement. This is gonna be a regular feature of the show.
Yes.
It's gonna be Bassem. It's kind of like Jack in Black kind of thing.
Yeah. Back in Black. Is that how it is? Okay. Somebody asked me to plug it again, so I'm going to plug it again. Go to plantb.tv on Instagram. So go to Instagram.
No, it's a website.
It's a website.
It's a website.
Oh, okay. So just go to Plant.
It's a website that has an Instagram and it has a YouTube channel. It has everything. Okay. And on the website, there's everything. There's the recipes, and it has a full
let me write that.
It's a full Arabic and a full English site.
I'm gonna write it right now in a very rudimentary fashion. Please excuse me, everyone, because this isn't something I had prepared, but so that everybody can see. Let me just pull that up, the name and how to spell it and all of that stuff. Where is it? There we go. No, that's the chat window. I wanted to write it down. Show overlay. This is, once again, this whole show, I don't have a team. There we go. Text, let's bring that in. And it is, so you want to go visit www.plantb.tv is the name of the website. I misspelled it. Let me put the
and we have funny videos, and we have educational videos, and we have recipes, and we have a full website in English and full website in Arabic. You can choose. I really wanted to do this as a bilingual experience for people.
Okay. And it's incredible because, once again, the beautiful thing about Plant B, and I love the play on words instead of Plan B, Plant B, is that there's the Instagram, the YouTube, and the website. Between the three, I think you've made every resource available for somebody to dive into this lifestyle.
Yeah, and I always tell people, hey, it's a Plan B. Try it.
Given you have nothing to lose.
When people say, you want to take away my shawarma, I'm not interested in your shawarma sandwich. I'm really.
And you told me that cheat meals are. You told me, like, if you have a burger once every now and then, if you feel a craving, it's totally fine.
It's not the end of the world. It's not a cult. It's not a cult. I tell people, if you're healthy, it's what you do 95% of the time, right?
Okay.
And if you want to cheat every now and then, it's fine. If you're sick, we advise to go almost as 100%, so you can get better. Once you get better, bisalama, banana shifa, you can do kind of like, live life a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I want everyone to know that I am enthusiastic about this. I actually want to try it myself. I'm always trying to find something better, and it is out of my comfort zone, like I discussed at the beginning of the episode, so it gives me even more reason to try it. But at the moment, it's hard to get groceries. I went on Whole Foods yesterday. I wanted to surprise you and try to order, because I'm ordering groceries online. Can't find a delivery window. It's going to be hard to start this now, but as soon as things calm down, I am going to do the 21-day plan, and I'm.
I would go to Ralph for you personally and get you the food.
I would never put you at that risk, but trust me, I will do it.
By the way, I'm doing it every day.
I will. What if you get sick on the one trip you do for me, and then people are like, a Lebanese man brought down an Egyptian icon? I do not want to take that responsibility. Egypt is very dear to us here on the show. One person's been asking me a question, and I'm going to end with you on this. Would you have still gone vegan for the animals and the planet if you were able to eat healthy, eating meat and dairy? Would you still have done it for the animals, or is that not a consideration for you?
I think I don't know. I mean, it's a different question, because I didn't really think about the planet. I didn't really think about the animals when I did it. Mm-hmm. I felt the effect on me personally, and through that process, I said, we don't need to eat animals, so why? It's a double win. It's a double win. Right?
It is.
So it's kind of like, and I think this is why in my platform, I never talk about animals or the planet, and not because I don't believe that we can make an impact,
but to make it accessible.
Because I think humans they care about themselves, and when they see the effect on themselves, they can be more motivated, because for many people, whatever happening to the animals, whatever happening to the planet is too remote for them.
True.
So if I can bring it more in a personal sense, they can change themselves and then change the world.
What a great. I mean, we got to end it. We got to end it there. You can change yourselves and then change the world. Bassem, I have literally like 10 other things I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to, as soon as possible, bring you back on the show, because this has been one of the funnest episodes for me. I do want to thank you so much. It is a great honor to sit with you and to be able to gain from your perspective and your knowledge. And I think the sentiment is shared by everybody. The comment section, people are loving this. So thank you so much. And for everybody who doesn't know, we're both in Los Angeles, quarantined, so we still can't see each other. So practice social distancing. Stay safe, everybody. Bassem, did I say anything wrong in there? As a cardiac surgeon, am I saying the right thing?
No, man. You're good. You're amazing. And I just want to. You've been like, what do we call blowing my horn? Is that the correct?
Have I? Is that what it is? I guess so.
Yeah.
Kissing your ass. I know, but it's true. I'm a fan.
A lot of people don't know that. Like I was actually watching your shows, and I was like watching the stuff online from you, and I've been a huge fan of yours, Nemr. And
that is ridiculous.
And when I got your freaking number, I was so excited. And if you remember, the first thing I told you on that WhatsApp chat is like, dude, I want to work with you. I want to tour with you. I want to do something with you. You have been one of my very, very favorite comedians, and I love what you do, and I love the transformation that you have done. And I would love to do a project with you, live, touring, and whatever.
I love
Let's
that you're
fucking make it happen.
I love that you're saying it as if I'm the one who's going to consider it. This is the same thing right back at you. And let's give a shout out to our good friend Karma Ekmekji, who put me and her friend with you. I think they put us in touch. And I remember Karma asked me, would you be interested, because you both live in LA, would you be interested in getting to know Bassem Youssef? And I said, I would love to, but first ask him. They're like, I'll give you his number. I'm like, ask him, because maybe he doesn't even know who the hell I am.
Dude, fuck, man.
I swear to God.
I've been watching for years.
When you told me that, I was like, what?
I mean, remember that joke that you said about, like, you know, that your father and your uncle kind of like fighting over the bill,
yes,
and all of the different techniques that they do in order. They kind of like
that's my old school material that I've taken offline. That when you mentioned that, I'm like, this guy really is legit, because I haven't had that's been offline since 2014. So this guy really does know my stuff.
I know, dude. I know your stuff a long time ago, man. And I love it. And okay, and I'm gonna spill the beans here.
Okay.
And I tell you, like, when I received. Finally, I received like a WhatsApp message from you.
Okay.
You know, when you have the notification, you have the name that you actually put on your WhatsApp name.
It's Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone. I was like, why is Sharon Stone messaging me? And why is she saying, hey, Habibi, how are you? I was like, why?
I put Sharon Stone as my name so that people on WhatsApp are like, holy shit, like they open it up and then they're like, what? So yeah, my name on WhatsApp is Sharon Stone, not on this WhatsApp number. This WhatsApp number, it's the show number. But
I wanted to send back, hey, cross your legs for me very soon.
I'm gonna do that from now on. Ladies and gentlemen, Bassem Youssef, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Unforgettable, and can't wait to have you back. Thank you so much. And we will definitely be doing shows and stuff together. That would be a privilege and an honor for me. Thank you. You take care, brother. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Bye. What an incredible guest, Bassem Youssef. It doesn't get better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much. You know what this portion of the show is right now. This is when we start to take our callers. I just want to make sure that I did. The Plant B thing. That was such a wonderful time, guys. I need a moment. Just give me a second here. Bassem Youssef is somebody I look up to a lot, and that was a cool thing, man. This is just another example of me being so happy with the decisions I made in my life. Thank you guys for all the love and support you show me, that you give me a platform that I can sit down and gain wisdom from people like Bassem Youssef. I hope you guys gain that wisdom as well. Before we open up the phone lines and start taking callers, and people are already calling, but hold on. Okay, we're not quite there yet. Let me just here, let's put this caller on hold for a second right here. Before I open up the phone lines, I want you guys to add this number on WhatsApp right here. Make sure you send me your name and where you live. And I want to ask you guys to share with me something. Give me a call and let me know something in your life where you took yourself out of the comfort zone and how it affected you. I shared a story in the beginning with my stand-up career, how I left my comfortable infamy in the Middle East for absolutely not being known in the US to become a better comic, and how I became better for it. So let me know. Give me a call and let me know. Simon Z is asking, Nemr, do more live streams. Simon, for those of you who don't know and may be joining us for the first time, this is the Very Funny Podcast. We stream live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. GMT. That's 11 a.m. Los Angeles time and 9 p.m. in Beirut. So make sure you do the calculations there. If you text that number right there with your name and where you live, within 48 hours, you will get a text back from me, and I will paste exactly the timing and all of that. Another thing you should know, every Sunday, I put out a video that announces the guests for the week. Next week, guests are going to be amazing. I won't say who they are yet. I'm very, very excited. We have so much to share on the show, and I want to thank you guys for joining me. But right now, it's time to talk to you. So that's the number right there. Send me your name and where you live if you haven't ever texted me on that number, and give me a call right now. We have with us on the phone. I want you guys to share with me a moment that you put yourselves out of the comfort zone and how it changed and impacted your life. Let's get name and your number. We're getting a call from Amsterdam with Ara Arzumanyan. Ara, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Nemr.
How's it going?
How's it going, buddy? Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing so great. How's Amsterdam right now?
Amsterdam is doing great, but yeah, we have to be careful a little bit,
of course,
like any other countries.
Of course.
Yeah.
Ara,
did you get my? Yes, sir.
So, what is a story that you could share with us, with our viewers right here, of a time that you put yourself outside of the comfort zone and it was better for you?
Yeah, in 1976, I was in Lebanon.
Okay, during Civil War.
And yeah, well, it just started, 75, 76.
Yeah.
So I was so lucky that in one hand, I was so lucky that I left. Mm-hmm. In the other hand, I was so sad that I left. So
of course, you left everything. You leave your family, your friends, your way of life.
Yeah. So yeah, we used to have a band, like we used to play Pink Floyd, Ray Hip, Deep Purple.
What was the name of the band?
Born to be Wild.
Nice. All right. Okay. 1976, fighting the norms in Beirut, Lebanon. I love it. Okay. And you had to leave your band. You had to leave your source of happiness because of
everything.
The war.
Yeah, everything. I had to leave, and then I had only $20 and 100 French franc, which it was altogether nothing. So I thought I want to go to Paris. You know, all my friends went to Paris. So, but I did arrive to Paris with that money. So
you're basically, because how many times, and be honest, how many times have you used that story on your children anytime they've complained, and you're like, when I was your age, I went with $100 and 100 francs, and that's all.
But I was so prepared. I was so prepared. I had some small radios, small radios. I sold it in Turkey. Ooh. And then I arrived to Aleppo with my cousin. He brought me. So I was really prepared to take this journey. I put in my backpack and I said, I'm leaving, and that was it. And I didn't look back at all. And I arrived in California. I was living in San Diego for a while.
That's where I grew up.
And I was working in Il Fornaio, Italian restaurant. I don't know if you know about that, Del Mar.
I grew up in Del Mar.
There is Il Fornaio. I don't know.
I do know Il Fornaio. Yeah, dude, I grew up in Del Mar though, but that was in the 80s. So I'm not sure if it was Il Fornaio. Okay. It was in the 80s, and I lived in Pine Needles Drive in Del Mar as a kid.
Yeah, I got it. I used to live in Solana Beach, next door.
Dude, that's crazy. What's up, neighbor? How's it going? What a small world. Unbelievable, man. So you took yourself out of your comfort zone. I mean, not by choice. You were pushed out of your comfort zone, but it sounds to me like the skills you gained and the survivability that you've gained as a result of it have made you a much more powerful human being. Am I correct at that assumption?
Yeah. I was very lucky because I met Italian girl in Greece, and then she took me to Italy, to Rome, and then I actually did everything in Rome. I even did the military service because I became Italian citizen, so Jesus. I had to go to military.
Look at this guy's like, your life is a movie, man. What the hell? What is this?
Oh yeah. That's a quarter of my life, because
I got to come up with a name. I got to come up with a name for your movie now. Ara Arzumanyan, zooming around the world. I don't know. I have to think of something. I will. Ara.
Well. Yeah, I have my Phoenician blood in me, so
you're good. Yeah, you got that traveler in you. You got that warrior in you.
Yeah.
Ara, thank you so much for calling in. That was a wonderful phone call. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Nemr. I might see you in Amsterdam again, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'll be back as soon as possible. I was just in Amsterdam. I went with my girlfriend, and we met up in Amsterdam before this outbreak went crazy, just because, I'm in a long-distance relationship, and she was in Paris, I was in the U.S., and it was like an easy meet point destination. And Lebanon had closed its airport, and at the moment, and I'm glad I didn't come down with anything as a result of that, but Amsterdam is very dear to my heart.
Yeah, but Nemr, if you ever come back, because I live like out of Amsterdam, and I have an Italian restaurant here, so
I will come and I will eat your Italian restaurant, and I will live stream. We will do a live stream podcast episode from your Italian restaurant. I will guarantee you that when I go to Amsterdam. We're going to do that. That's it. It's done. It's sealed.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be eating. We'll do like in the mafia movies. We'll talk and eat at the same time. Like, they tell him what to call it. Like, shoving food down our... It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Ara, thanks so much, man. You take care of yourself, all right?
Yeah, you are great. You are
Habibi,
great.
take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Give me a call, guys. I'm looking at the comment sections right now as well. Nimr, when are you coming to Cleveland? I was supposed to be there September 15. I don't think that's going to still happen. We were probably going to postpone. A lot of my dates are going to be postponed, but I haven't done it officially yet because I am waiting, fingers crossed, hoping that we can start doing live shows again. But the doing live shows as a comedian is the worst thing right now for the pandemic. So our career has been hit. Live performance has been hit the most by this. So hopefully we can confirm these soon, these shows. We're getting a call from Makram Al-Ash'ar from Toronto, Canada. Makram, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Makram, is somebody killing somebody in the back? What's happening in the background? Oh, no. We lost his call. I think Makram just got murdered, everybody. I really believe Makram just got murdered. I did you hear that pop in the background? And then the line disconnected. Guys, give me a call. The number's in front of you right now. I'm taking calls. We're getting now another Canadian caller. We're getting Jude from Montreal. Jude, how's it going? Hello, Jude?
His call.
Hello?
I think Makram just got murdered.
Hello, Jude. You got to listen to the phone, not the stream. There's a delay. Hello?
Did you hear
So
that?
what's happening is he's listening on the stream.
Oh.
He doesn't know that he's with me on the phone. Jude, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Jude is in the past, exactly the original base. We're in the future.
Oh my God.
Jude, welcome to the future. Welcome to the future is now, my friend. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so good, brother. I'm doing so good. You're calling us from Montreal, Canada. Am I correct?
Yes, that's me. I texted you yesterday.
Yes, sir. And I remember talking to you, man. And I hope you passed my love to your family.
I did. I texted everyone this morning.
Well, man.
They all went crazy. They're like, no way, never responded.
Of course, dude. I respond to everybody. Once again, I apologize to people. It sometimes takes me a couple days to respond, but as you can imagine, there are hundreds of numbers. We've crossed about 1,000, but I love talking to all of you. So thank you for sending me everything. And if you guys want to send me questions or any life situations that you have, you want to hear my perspective, go ahead and send them on WhatsApp too, and I'll discuss them on the show. Jude, tell us of a time when you put yourself out of the comfort zone and how it bettered your life.
All right. So a couple of years ago, I used to live in Dubai with my family. I was 17 at the time.
Okay.
And I'm 19 now, sorry.
All right.
And so basically...
So this was two years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so...
Hold on 1 second. Does Maria Helene Falas know you?
No.
Oh, okay. She's just saying hi. Okay, I thought because she was like, "Hi, Jude." I was like, "Is that do you have family in the chat?" Okay, we're all family here.
Maria Calas, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. Maria, well, you just lost any chance you had of dating Maria Helene Falas. I'd just like you to know that. But anyways, please go ahead. So you're 19, and 2 years ago, Rasha Hassan is saying out of my comfort zone would be calling your show. That's actually funny. Rasha, call the show. You should get out of the comfort zone. Actually, you know what? After this phone call, I'm going to see if maybe I can... Let me see if she's... I think she's a contact on the phone because the name rings a bell. Stay with me 1 second, brother. Hold on. Rasha Hassan. I don't know if that's her, though. Rasha Hassan, is that you? Is this you? I'm typing to you on WhatsApp. Is this you? She's saying no. No, it's not her. Okay, well, I don't have your number. I was going to call Rasha Hassan right now, put her out of her comfort zone. So tell me, when was a time when you put yourself out of the comfort zone and how did it affect yourself? Go ahead.
Right. So I was 17, and it'd been like a few years I've been living in Dubai. I used to live in Montreal before that. Now I'm back here. But
Okay.
so basically, when I moved there, I felt like I was at school and stuff, but it didn't really feel like I was progressing a lot. I really felt like I was just there and stagnating for 3 years. I didn't really believe in the quality of education I was getting.
Okay.
And so I decided that I wanted to move back to Canada.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's, like my parents both have their jobs in Dubai and stuff, and so it's sort of been difficult to get the whole family to come here with me.
Okay.
So even if that was something that wasn't possible, I still decided to apply for school here.
Okay.
And then I decided to move back here alone.
Okay.
So I moved here at the age of 17, living alone for the first time. I do have family here, but I mean, as you may imagine, it's still pretty difficult for a 17-year-old to take care of himself.
So you moved on your own to Montreal? Like there's nobody, you're not in a house with nobody's cooking for you? Nobody's cleaning for you?
I'm cooking for myself, man.
You're cooking for yourself, so which basically means you're eating terribly, or do you cook? Like, let's be honest right here.
No, okay, listen. Initially, I was eating terribly.
Okay.
Uber Eats was my personal chef.
Okay.
But I've been cooking a lot now. I have my own recipes. I made my own recipes now.
All right, look at you, man. Fantastic.
Yeah, so it was a pretty difficult transition. Like, school system was so different. I started failing big time at school. And it was like such a rough transition, not only on an emotional level, but also on an academic level.
Mm-hmm.
I was missing a lot of the prerequisites I needed to be accepted into the program I was admitted to. And it was just a really difficult time where I was alone. Obviously, I have family here, but it was still extremely difficult to just be alone and have to go through all of this alone. So thankfully, my family's got my back and everything, and I was able to pick myself back up. I stood in the face of adversity, and I didn't let anything take me down, and now I'm back up on my feet.
Damn, yeah, hell yeah, man. And let me ask you this. Do you feel that if you hadn't gone through that experience, that uncomfortable experience, you wouldn't be the man you are today? You'd be a much lesser man. Am I right?
I completely agree with you.
Made you
Even
stronger.
though initially, like, it seems like when I was in that, like, at the lowest point of my life, you just feel like, oh, there's no way I can get out of this. And like, I should have never made this move. Like,
yeah,
I'm doing so much worse than I was before. But then when you grow out of it and you look back, you see like, wow, I learned so much, and I'm a step ahead of everybody now. Like, I'm really happy and glad that I went through this, because I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't done that.
Damn straight, man. Thanks for sharing your story with us, man. I love that we can get stories from people, and not like you are now our guest. Everybody who's calling is our guest. The Zucka is saying that I'm dissing people, calling them much lesser men. Not true. The Zucka, you're just jealous because our Steam accounts didn't sync up. The dude, thank you so much for the follow. Listen, I want to thank you once again for calling, my man. You stay safe. You keep kicking ass, and thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Nemr. Thank you. See you.
Bye-bye, dude. Take care. Bye. All right, guys, let's take one more call. Give me a call. Tell me a story. Thank you, Paloxy, I think, or P10Chi, or I don't know exactly how I'm going to pronounce it, for the follow. I appreciate it. Guys, give me a call right now, +1 424 542 9902. Make sure, this is very important that you guys share with me. Oh, my God, he got through. He got through. Put your name and the city that you live in and send it to me. We have the Zucka, who just said I am belittling people,
bro.
Picks up the phone, calls in to try to take me on. All right, Zucka. I hear you, Zucka. You're challenging me on my show? On my show? All right, Zucka. It's home, baby. I know you personally. I know you. I high-fived you in Kuwait on stage. By the way, I've known Zucka is the one who helped me set up all of my live streaming initially when I was on Twitch. He's an incredible human being, an incredible friend of mine, and he is a mod on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, all that good stuff. And we knew each other for, like 2 years or some shit before we actually met?
A year and a half-ish.
A year and a half-ish, and then I did a show in Kuwait. He came to the show. It was the first time we ever met. Mortanius is having the time of his life, and he's laughing his ass off. My best friend Mortanius, who I will be bringing on this show very soon via Skype, but I can't wait to bring him on this show very soon in person. One of my best friends. No, actually, my best friend. Zucka, let me know right now. I don't know what Homie Hopper wants 2019. Come on. I'm not sure what he's saying. I'm going to pay attention to the comments. I know that makes you happy, Zucka. Tell us a story. Tell the peoples a story about when you put yourself out of your comfort zone and how it made you a better human being.
All right, fantastic.
Homie Hopper 2019, thank you for the follow. Please continue.
Before I say that, I was calling...
By the way, I'm going to interrupt you constantly to thank people who are following and who are doing all of that stuff, because I know you keep telling me to pay more attention to the comments, and I'm going to make you eat your words in this phone call. So please continue.
Fair enough, مش غلط. I'll take it. First of all, I wanted to say the guy that you had on the interview, never heard of him before, fantastic guy.
Oh, he's the best. He's incredible. Bassem Youssef.
Actually, incredibly entertaining. It was such a good interview. Props to you on that.
Habibi, thank you.
Second of all, I was calling as a joke with the Zanach, but it turns out that I actually got picked up on, so now I have to give you a live story.
Yeah, you got to give me a story, man. This isn't a comedy show. There are no jokes here. We don't do jokes. The Very Funny Podcast is a very serious affair. So let's hear a story.
Okay.
Love you too, Carla. Tell me, go ahead. I'm just interrupting you to make it funny. Yeah.
No, it's fine, man. Go ahead, interrupt me all you like. I don't get offended. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is what happened to me in university, where when I was studying, and a few months into me studying, my father passed away. I think I told you the story.
You did.
Not sure.
Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah.
This is a good story. Go ahead.
So a few months into me studying, actually, my father passes away, and I was put in a situation where I was studying abroad. And
how many years ago was this?
This was 2016.
2016.
I started university in 2016 in January, and my father passes away in March 2016.
Damn, man. So sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just the moral of the story.
Yeah.
So this happens, right? And I was put in a situation where it was either I need to stop studying because I was studying abroad in Malaysia, or I have to figure out a solution. So one of these days, I'm just sitting down and I'm watching YouTube, and I see, I'm watching these streamers because it was blowing up back then. Like, streaming was not as, famous as now, and not everyone was streaming. So I'm like, dude, I can do this. Like, this is something that I can do. I was watching them play Call of Duty, and I'm like, dude, I can do this. Why can't they and I can't? And I'm a good player. I have the system for it. I have like the hardware for it. So I'll give it a shot.
You started streaming.
Yeah, so I started streaming, and on my first ever stream, from the friends that I made on other streams, they came and watched. And on my first ever stream, I got a $5 donation.
All right.
And I remember looking at my phone, because I didn't have any alerts, nothing, man. It was just me capturing my screen and streaming it. So my phone gets a notification. I look at my phone, and someone donated $5.
Wow. It must have felt like $1 million.
Bro, it felt like someone handed me literally $1 million. You're exactly correct. On point.
Wow.
It was the most insane thing, the most insane feeling. Like, I'm playing a game, having fun, talking to people and laughing, and someone gave me money for it. Like,
and if I remember correctly, when you told me this story, you used streaming to help pay for your like expenses and stuff. I mean, after the loss of your father, I can imagine it was a bit of a difficult situation financially.
Yeah, it actually spiraled into me paying my entire university. For the rest of my semesters, I just streamed and I played.
Unbelievable.
And
I mean, for all the parents who are watching us and tell their kids, stop wasting your time gaming, they could pay their university off by gaming. I hope you're listening, parents, to what's going on right here. But yes. No, dude, that is so true. Somebody said, Rita Haj says, sorry for your loss. A lot of people in the chat are sending their condolences, and I just thought you would want to know, how would you say, I mean, it's obvious to me, but if you were to summarize it, that experience must have been, it was incredibly uncomfortable. Do you believe that you are a stronger man because of it?
Man, this caused me to grow as an individual to a point where I can rely on myself rather than relying on other people.
Wow.
In certain situations.
Yeah.
Mostly in life-related situations. Like, this was a big deal. Like, as an 18-year-old, I took this into my hands, and I was like, well, you know what? Screw it. I guess I'll figure it out. And as time passes, you get more and more confident, and you build up this immunity to life trying to put you down.
Yeah.
So it really, like, what my point is, what I'm trying to say is, in the end, if you see an opportunity of something that you could do and you feel like this would help you or make you happier, you should definitely follow it.
Okay.
Like, try to give anything a shot. Just like you gave a shot to comedy when this was your passion, and here you are now. All these years later.
Yeah. If you don't, I think the worst thing you can live with is regret. And it's very easy to have tried and failed because at least you don't have to sleep with regret. Like, I wish I had tried, or what if I tried? But if you try and fail, you're like, dude, I tried and it was a ride, but it's just I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't for me, or I found out that it wasn't what I wanted. Dude, thanks so much for calling, man. It's always good to hear your voice, and thanks for sharing your story. I appreciate it.
Well, man, have a fantastic. Well, I guess this was the last call you said. So
yeah, let's end it on a high note with family. Take care, my brother. I'll see you online.
You too, man.
Bye-bye.
Fantastic stream.
Habibi, man. Bye-bye. Guys, first of all, I want to say salamu alaikum to Yukala02 coming to us, I believe, from D Live or Mixer. I'm not sure. Guys, I'm loving all of the comments. I'm going to read through some of them a bit before we end the show. We're about to end it right now. Nemr, get him Jaddada on the next live stream. That is the funniest. I should do a pre-recorded interview where I stream it like it's live, where it's like a split screen. We're going to call him Jaddada. Jaddada comes. It's a plate of him Jaddada. Street MY, thanks for the follow. And we'll have just him Jaddada, like a split screen, and then people, and I'll do the voice. I'll be like, so how does it feel to be a disappointment to children everywhere? I'm not a disappointment. I'm doing it. You know, I'll do something. We'll do that one day. Let's take a look at the comments right here. Call Russia. Russia, you better text me. Johnny Swaggins, thank you for the follow, dude. I'm loving Twitch is growing so fast. It's my favorite platform. Twitch, I honestly have to say, I've been impressed with Facebook and YouTube in streaming for this format. But my favorite format's always going to be, my own favorite platform's always going to be Twitch. So I love when you guys are following me on Twitch and all that stuff. We will be gaming on Twitch soon as well. I'll be back to that. Let me read these comments right here. I'm just going to pick a few at random. Nemr, shave everything, including your eyebrows, just for research purposes. No, Simon Z. No, I will not. I'm just going to keep this thing growing. Do you see this beard? Look at this. Look at the layers and all the white hair coming out. I'm not that old, but I look ancient here, man. I look like I'm wise. I'm 36. I look like I'm a 53-year-old man who's been through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Falafel Johnny. What a great nickname, by the way. Thanks for the follow. Look at that right there. It's like, I've seen many things, and I've come from very far. You must heed my words. Make sure you do not feed your children powdered milk, for they will hate you. It is not an alternative. I come from the future to tell you your destiny. Listen to me. I am constipated. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Rasha Hassan. I'm still waiting for your text. You better text me, girl. Because we're going to put you on we're going to call you next time on the things. Let's say right here, I'm going through the comments at random just to read some stuff. Great job from Australia, man. Thank you for tuning in from Australia. I think it's like 6 a.m. or some crazy time right here. Like Joe Rogan and Bill Burr, shave your head. Let me explain to you all. Thank you for the follow. I didn't catch the name, but thank you whoever just followed. Let me explain to you all why I will not shave my head, okay? I'm gonna reveal something to you guys. Let me see if I can pull it. I'm now looking online because I want to make sure. Does this it works? I think this is it. I need to find an image that I can show you guys why I won't shave. Goodness gracious. All right, there we go. How do I get this image to open on full screen? No, I want it. Save image. I'm going to show you guys why I will not shave ever my head, and I hope you guys are ready to see a side of me you've never seen. So let me point this out. Look at my skull, okay? I want you to take a look here and look at my head, which has now headphone hair, okay? Two things that I have that are genetically bizarre. If you look at my forehead, it angles forward in a way. When I do shows, we have a problem. We have to put light on the stage to beam up because I have shadows underneath my eyes because the light coming from a spotlight hits here and it casts a natural shadow. My forehead pushes so forward. And at the same time, the back of my head is the flattest thing you've ever seen in your life. It is damn flat. So if I were to shave my head, I would look like a freak of nature. What I would look like, very much so, and I want to point this out to you guys, and I love this. This makes me laugh so much because I believe I am the missing link of humanity. What I would look like, let's screen share right here. What's the button for screen share? Is that it? I think that's it. Yep. What I would look like, my friends, is this. This is sweet Jesus. Scorpio 1598, thanks for the follow. I don't know what happens that randomly sometimes we get the sound effect for the follow coming through, but this is what I would look like right here. That's me. That's my forehead. I am the Neanderthal missing link. But the Neanderthal probably had a rounded back head. I don't. I have the head. My shape, my skull structure is like a Marine who failed his army. Do you get what I'm saying? Like my skull structure is terrifying. So I will never shave my beard. I'm just gonna let it grow out, and my hair until I can get my barber Trevor to hook me up. You know what I'm saying? The Skull Killer 2002. That's hilarious. Nemr, give us a taskete before you sign off. Okay, I will. Guys, I'm about to sign off, but this is a request from Twitch, my favorite platform, and it's where all the streaming began. And actually, I can't do a taskete. I'm sorry. I have to get George on the phone. Let's get George on the phone. George, I'm about to call you on Skype. Wait, let me call him as a normal phone call first to see if I can then get him on Skype. Let me call George. You guys have been asking for George. A lot of you are like, who's this George guy? Let's get him first on a voice call on WhatsApp. Make sure he has his Skype ready. And then we're going to do I do Masaka and he does Taskete. George, are you on Skype?
Am I on Skype?
Yeah. Can I Skype call you right now?
Bro, manni hammam wala shi wala.
Okay, we're going to do an audio version. They're asking for the Taskete. So I'm going to do the Masaka.
Oh.
And then you have to do the Taskete. So I need you to lower the volume of everything you have around you as a first step. And then we're going to do, I'm going to explain to everybody right now what's happening. In Japanese anime, I'm a huge anime fan. George is a huge anime fan. A lot of their delivery, George, make sure all the streams around you or whatever are muted because we can hear the echo. So in Japanese stuff,
I was closing
in anime and stuff, they basically no worries. The Japanese animes, they and those of you who know me from the phone taps, watashi wa mitsurugi ken no michi ni mayoto suwadashita. So Japanese anime is very aggressive in their voiceovers, and they have always these things where if they're incredibly shocked, they'll say things like Masaka. Masaka means it's kind of like saying like what, like, right? It's not Masaka is like what's going on, right? Mrs. Verdandi, thank you for the follow. Like impossible, right? And then they always say Taskete. They're always like, Taskete is not how they say it. It's always like, Taskete, which means help me. And they scream it. George does the greatest Taskete in the history of mankind. I do a great Masaka. We will now combine forces, me via the studio, George via WhatsApp. This is why you want to add the WhatsApp number, by the way. Send your name and where you live and add me. George, are you ready?
I am ready. I hope I don't get noise complaints.
Okay, all right, here we go. Make sure you move the phone slightly from your face so it doesn't clip the audio and you have to do it again. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay. So I want everybody who's watching right now to just envision a scene. Okay, I'm going to set up the scene. Okay. You're an incredibly vulnerable character. Think One Punch Man. The guy who is supposed to be the strongest of all time is just a geek otaku gamer, and he's terrified that his cover is blown, and he is now in a situation where he's about to get murdered, and he's shocked at the situation, and he's going to ask, what's going on? This is impossible. That's me saying Masaka. And then he's going to realize that he needs to be saved, and that's George who's going to come in and do his voice, screaming Taskete, which is help me. Scene is set up. And are you ready, George? Here we go. Just let me get in. Let me get into character. Just let me get into character here. Just let me. I need to feel the scene. You understand? I need to. Okay. Masaka. And scene. Oh my God, we are absolutely not worthy of the fame and recognition we have. George, my man, love you, brother. Thanks so much for helping out
Love
with the
you too,
Teskete. You take care of yourself. That one was dedicated to everybody on Twitch. And welcome to everybody from D-Live and Mixer. I think we got a couple of people coming in from there without any promotion, so it's great to see you. This was the great episode of the Very Funny Podcast. Thank you to our special guest, Bassem Youssef. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. And this show continues to grow. Thank you for spreading the word. Please subscribe on our YouTube channel. Somebody came in and told me, like, why don't you tell people to subscribe? If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, click on the bell, and make sure you enable notifications so you get notified. If you're on Twitch, follow. If you're on Facebook, throw in a like. But most importantly, on Twitter, of course, I don't know what you can do. Follow me. You already do if you're seeing this. Most importantly, add this number right here on WhatsApp. Send me your name and where you live so that I add you to the contacts. Every Sunday, I send out a broadcast with the schedule, with the guests, and that way you guys won't have to miss an episode ever. I love you guys so much. George, take care of yourself, brother. And to everybody out there.
Love you too, brother. Take care.
Take care, my man. And everybody out there, take care. And always, always wear underwear. See you guys Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We got amazing guests on Sunday. Check my social networks. I will be posting them all there. And of course, check your WhatsApps. I will be sending you the schedule and the guests. Incredible guests next week. It's going to be unbelievable. Just crazy. One guest you've never seen before. And take those words literally from me. You're going to see him for the first time. And it's very important because he's never shown his face. That's coming next week. Thank you guys so much. Goodbye, everybody. And thank you in the comment section to Maz, to Hadikovic. Thank you, Hamoud, Joker. Thank you, Rafraf Rifai, Keanu Reeves. Always a pleasure to have you here. The Skull Killer 2002. Should you be wearing underwear? Always, my friend. And now, whether or not the underwear is metaphysical in its manifestation and it's here in the world that we understand today to see, which is the physical realm, well, that's up to you, my friend. But it should always be there, whether it's physically manifested or spiritually manifested. Take care and always wear underwear. Fadi Samir, thank you so much. George, whatever, thank you very much. Fuad Nakhli, sticking with us to the end. Ramzi Abu Zaki, we're feeling the vibes. Sonia Mrad, thank you. Ibrahim Satma, I appreciate you. Have a great day. Lebanon forever. Yaman Sharaf Dabak, take care. Much love to everybody. David Amanuddin, Samer Sanyur from all over the world. Nemo Ubas on Facebook. Happy Easter to you too. MKJ1995 from Twitch. This is beautiful, man. Look at you guys all over the world on all the platforms. Take care, Simon Z. You the GOAT, my man. Hiyan Kaban Abu Nassar. My mother is in the comment section. Mom, I love you. Couldn't do this without you. Literally wouldn't be here. Love you guys so much. My mom's the GOAT.